Thank you, Colleen. The chalice lighter in the sanctuary is Amelia. Our words for chalice lighting this morning are For the Freedom of Faith by Heather K. Janiels. Our prophets died for the freedom of faith. We are here in their spirit. We are here to practice and sustain our living tradition. To light a chalice, claiming for justice the heat and power of fire. In our free faith, we are here, seeking freedom from despair, the freedom to be loved as ourselves, and the freedom to grow beyond imagination. We are here, gathered in the name of all that we find holy. Let us give thanks for the gift of gathering here. Amen.
Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Good morning. My name is Becca Reynolds. I'm a member of this church. I am an out and proud trans woman. I'm a redhead of mature years and mature pounds on the scale. Today I am wearing a purple dress, and no, I'm not royalty. I just play one on television. Welcome to Moving Meditation, which we do once a month. As you are participating in moving meditation, please be mindful of the people next to you as we do our gestures. It's going to be a very bad thing if we back fist somebody in the nose. Okay? You may remain seated. You don't have to stand for this. Just remain sitting in your chair. But again, just be aware of the space around you. Okay? Deep breath. Slow, deep breath in. Be aware of the chair underneath you. Center yourself in this time and space so that we can worship together. Another nice, slow, deep breath in through the nose and out the mouth. We do this to center ourselves. Today, I want to talk about pulling people in and pushing people away. This is going to start with ourselves, because this is where it all comes down to. It comes to ourselves. This is where we are, right here in our own hearts and our own minds. As we encounter people in the world, as you're encountering people, feel the energy of the folks in this room. As we're encountering people in the world, like the folks in this church, pull that energy into you and let it enrich you and sustain you and make you feel good. But as we encounter other people in the world, sometimes we have to make a choice. Are we going to welcome those people into our family? Or are we going to find that there's maybe some kind of a reason to push them away? Do we welcome them? Or do we have to push them away? There might be a lot of reasons why a person would immediately be welcome. But there might be a lot of reasons why we'd also immediately maybe have to make the decision to protect ourselves and push some people away. Not out of any meanness out of our hearts, but just because we have to. Because we have to protect this, our family, and ourselves. But as we are holding our hands out in welcome, or putting our hands out in pushing someone away, perhaps we can consider the possibility that we do both. Yes, I'm going to push you away today, but I'm open to the possibility that you could come back another time and I would welcome you. Maybe I have to push you away today for my safety and the safety of my family. But there's always the possibility you could come back in a day, a week, a month, and you would be welcome. And we would want to have you with us. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Millie. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a member of the Pastoral Care Circle. Today I'm wearing a jacket that's mostly gray, but has some blue and cream colored, wearing a cream colored blouse and gray slacks. And I'll try to find my place here. As we focus on the theme of freedom this month, we celebrate the freedom to show up just as we are. Sometimes we enter this space carrying a weight, a great weight, a weight of sorrow, of worry, of anger. Sometimes we enter feeling light with joy and celebration. Always we enter together, free to be who and how we are, and to hold all that we bring in our cupped communal hands. As a community, we share joys and concerns to keep connected. Slips of paper are available at the greeters table out in the hall for those in the sanctuary to use for joys and concerns. During the week, you may send your joys and concerns by email to pastoralcare@springfielduu.org or by leaving a voicemail on the church phone 417-883-3922. If you are on Zoom, please use the chat box now for sharing your joys and concerns. All of these joys and concerns will be included in the member's email on Tuesday. We honor each joy or concern with a stone dropped in a shared bowl of water, representing the ripple effect in all our lives. This morning, some people who volunteer will be dropping the stones for us. It's usually the children on the first Sunday. Yeah. Okay, we could use some more volunteers. And now, as we begin this time of sharing, know that though we are in multiple physical spaces, we are together in beloved community. To begin, we hold in love all of us, those present and those absent. We drop a stone for our church community. The Donate the Basket offering taken on May 25th was $225.77. We will add this to future Donate the Basket collections so that we can make a substantial donation later in the year to a local group that is helping with our housing crisis. We drop a stone of celebration for the donations, but also of concern for the severe local affordable housing crisis. A concern: Monday night, Nan Anderson, many of you know Ann, one of our Zoom attendees, confronted two men who had broken in her front door to enter her house. She told me this is about 8 o'clock at night, I think. She yelled, "Get the hell out of here." After firing a shot into her wall, they ran out. Actually, I think it was more than one shot. Nan was unharmed and her relatives stayed the night. Police are investigating. We drop a stone of concern for Nan and just consider that joy also that she's okay and nothing bad worse happened.
I got a concern. I was here, okay, first of all, apologize. I was here late. I got caught on I-44. And I didn't have time to write a joy
Okay.
concern. But this is what I have. It's really short.
Come up here.
And I'll do it for.
No, come here. Come here.
Do I have to come up there?
Yes, sir. People can't hear.
Okay, some people probably do know, this is from me and Annie. It's a joy and it's a sadness, more sadness than it's a joy. But my mother, Millie, passed away peacefully on May 25th. That'd been last Saturday. And my mom and Dean were so grateful to being able to move back to Wisconsin to spend the time with their grandchildren last February. And thank you for everybody who sent positive energy and prayers to my family at this time. And if you want to give hugs, hey, I'm okay with it. So, okay, thank you. That's all I have. Thanks. Mel.
Take care.
I'm gonna drop it. I'll go ahead.
We honor the complex and heartbreaking struggles of our world. We drop a stone for all who are impacted. We have a concern from Pharaoh. A concern for the friends and family of Stacy Tweston, who passed away yesterday peacefully at home after a thriving long life with the debilitating bone disease osteoporosis imperfecta. She was a force and a light. We drop a stone of concern. From Lynn. Although I appreciate the rain, I love these sunny days. That looks like a joy. From no one, someone. It's June. Happy Pride Month. From Reverend Michelle, Adam is back. This is a joy from Adam, handwritten. Thank you to all who came to visit, write cards, and supported me through this illness. We drop a stone of joy for Adam. This is from Barbara Vicente. A huge thanks to Emily and Roberta, yes, for planning and executing the UU garage sale. Thank you. In closing, okay, Steve?
Steve Samuelson.
Yeah.
You're in the room.
Yes, he's here.
You have a story about a dance and you were going to say how much you look forward to it. Do you want to say it so that Zoom people can hear it?
Steve,
Are the June 21st dance here at UU?
Yeah.
Yes.
Steve, please come up here. People can't hear you, and people on Zoom.
Usually used to having big mouths.
Well, I mean, you know, in some cases it will work.
Well, Steve, thank you for bringing that up. We are having a dance here at this church, 7 to 9:30 on June 21st. We encourage as many of you to come as you wish. There will be snacks and soft drinks and perhaps a beer or two if you are so inclined. And that's for donation. And you'll hear myself, John Prescott, and our other two band members. And I hope we have a really good time. Thank you, Steve. And Steve is probably going to be there dancing his feet off.
Yes, Steve's quite a good dancer. We drop a stone of joy for that. May we hold each of these joys and concerns in our hearts and minds. Oh, you know what? I'm not on Zoom, are you? I didn't know I was doing these, so.
Millie, I could read it.
From Jane. Concern for a neighbor or friend who died last week after years of serious illness. Also, another neighbor and friend who is currently in Mercy in serious trouble, but improving slightly. We drop a stone of concern. And from Jesse, a joy for new friends who bring joy into our lives. Thank you for making us smile. A stone of joy. Thank you. Okay. Carry on. May we hold each of these joys and concerns in our hearts and minds. May our community of love ease sorrow and boost celebration. And now let us join together in 1 minute of shared silence, followed by Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion.
Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, living life the shape of justice, roots holding cold, wings set me free, Spirit of light, come to me, come to me. Our words of invitation are by Marianne Hatchin Cotter. Welcome to this place of possibility. This is love's hearth, the home of hope, a refuge for minds in search of truth, unfolding ever beautiful, ever strange. Here, compassion is our shelter, freedom our protection from the storms of bigotry and hate. In this abode, may we find comfort and courage. Here, may our sight become vision, to see the unseen, to glimpse the good that is yet to be. Our hymn for the month of June is With Heart and Mind. It's number 300 in the gray hymnal. The words will be available on the screens, and you may stand or remain seated to join in the singing. With heart and mind and voice and hand, may we this time and place transcend, to make our purpose understood. A mortal search for mortal good, a firm commitment to the goal of justice, freedom, peace for all. A mind that's free to seek the truth. A mind that's free to age and youth. To choose a path no threat impedes. Wherever light of conscience leads. Our martyrs died so we could be a church where every mind is free. A heart that's kind, a heart whose search makes love the spirit of our church, where we can grow and each one's gift is sanctified and spirits lift, where every door is open wide for all who choose to step inside. This week in UU history, the week of June 1st. In 1842, Joseph H. Jordan was born a Black free man in West Norfolk, Virginia. After trying his hand as a laborer and a grocer, he achieved financial success as a carpenter. Jordan was ordained as a Baptist minister in 1880, and after reading The Plain Guide to Universalism by Thomas Whitmore, he became a Universalist. Jordan began preaching Universalism, and the Universalist Ordaining Council voted to ordain him as the first African American Universalist minister. A small group of Jordan's followers became the First Universalist Church of Norfolk, which was admitted into fellowship by the Universalist General Convention. Some white Universalists who had no church of their own attended Jordan's church. Jordan died of unknown causes in 1901 at the age of 59. Offering our gifts to support the work of building inclusive and just communities is one of the many ways that we live into justice and equity together. Some of us have much to give and some have little, and together it is enough. We are enough to work together for a world where every human can live into their best and most authentic self. If electronic giving is your preferred method, or if you are on Zoom, virtual giving options are available via our website, springfielduu.org. The offertory is Blackbird by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, performed by Colleen. Blackbird is widely interpreted as a metaphor for the civil rights struggle, particularly referencing the Little Rock Nine and the civil rights movement of the 1960s. Paul McCartney has stated that the song is about racial tensions in the American South and was inspired by the experiences of Black women facing adversity.
Good morning. I am Reverend Michelle Scott Huffman. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the minister here at First UU. I left my iPad up here, so now I have to get it all ready when I get here. I am a middle-aged woman with typically pale skin, but I've been in the California sunshine this week, so I have a different skin color than I did 2 weeks ago. I have short, spiky, salt and pepper hair. I'm wearing black except for a taupe. There are lots of names of colors that are in the brown, beige kind of category, so I may be wrong. I don't know. This month at First UU, we're talking about freedom. And the message today is a play that we often do in the UU world, where we take words that have a U in them and we put 2 U's in them, just because we can. Like youth is YOUUTH, stuff like that. So today it's free to be us, but UUS. So you can sit with that if you'd like. I don't know. About a year after I was born, there was a record that began spinning through living rooms across the country, declaring with joyful insistence, "Free to be you and me." Clearly, some of you remember that because you have spoken those words out loud. Released in 1972, Free to Be You and Me was more than a children's album. It was a cultural milestone. Conceived by actor and activist Marlo Thomas, it offered a bold counter-narrative to the gender roles and rigid expectations embedded in most children's stories of the time. Drawing together a powerhouse of writers, musicians, and celebrities from Alan Alda to Diana Ross, Shel Silverstein to Harry Belafonte, the album invited children into a world where boys could cry, girls didn't have to marry princes, and everyone was free to be themselves. It became a gold record, a TV special, a book, and most of all, a lifeline for kids growing up in a culture that often told them to shrink to conform. As Thomas later said, the world continues to question these things, and I think we have to be ready with the answers. In 1972, Marlo Thomas saw the need for a freedom that we still have need for. We celebrated in Joys and Concerns this morning that today starts Pride Month. And we continue to celebrate Pride because we continue to have a need for people to know that they don't have to conform to a particular mold that has been made for them and placed on them. And so this idea about free to be you and me still resonates. But today I want to offer a remix about how we're free to be us. Not just you and me, but how we together are us. And in particular, a you kind of us, because that's the context in which we gather today. You and me and all of us free to be our full selves in community, and more specifically in this particular community. Because that's what this tradition is about. Not individualism and isolation, but a shared freedom grounded in love. And not just the freedom to choose what we believe, but the responsibility to live like our beliefs matter. So I want to talk today about how freedom is not just freedom from something, but also freedom for something. Unitarian Universalism has always been a movement for religious freedom. Our spiritual ancestors paid the price for thinking freely, some of them an ultimate price, for refusing to conform, for daring to preach love instead of fear. A few of those ancestors include Francis David, In 1568, in the hills of Transylvania, a preacher named Francis David proclaimed, "We need not think alike to love alike." He helped author the Edict of Torda, a declaration of religious tolerance centuries ahead of its time. It was a bold stand. Ministers could preach according to their conscience. No one would be persecuted for their beliefs. For that freedom, he was imprisoned and would die behind bars. Centuries later in early America, John Murray, a Universalist preacher exiled from England, arrived on New Jersey shore with one radical message: give them not hell, but hope and courage. He proclaimed salvation for all, a love so wide that it left no one behind. To him, that was the liberation of the gospel message. We are heirs to these legacies of courage, of conscience, and of community. And when Unitarians and Universalists merged in 1961, some people say the Unitarians brought the reason and the Universalists brought the love. Thankfully, they merged. They enshrined those values in our shared polity. Now, polity might be a church geek word that you're not familiar with. Polity is the way that a church governs itself. The new Constitution affirmed, "Nothing in this Constitution or bylaws of the association shall be deemed to infringe upon the congregational polity of the churches and fellowships." That's a congregation saying to the people that they're affiliated with, we do what we want. No bishop, no creed, no centralized power, just freely gathered people bound by covenant and not control. But even then, wise voices warned us not to let our language of freedom become hollow. I think it was Fannie Lou Hamer that said, "Ain't nobody free till everybody's free." One study commission on the free church in a changing world wrote, "Congregational polity, like freedom and democracy, is often a stop thought device for us. The principles should be frequently stated, but the practice must be tested by the principle." In other words, don't just say that you're free, don't just clamor for your own freedom, but live like you have been given that freedom and that you desire to extend that freedom to others. We are to test our freedom, to stretch it, to steward it, to share it. Everything that we become free from requires us to be free for somebody or something else. And so in this congregation, we've had lots of talks lately about our values and our vision and our mission. And we have gathered in listening sessions for people to share the things that their hopes and dreams about this congregation. And you all use the word freedom a lot. And I'm thankful to the people who compiled all of that, because they came with a handy list of 9 freedoms that were named in our listening sessions, that are either the reasons that you come here or your hopes and dreams for the future of this congregation. Today, I want to invite you into a bit of a group participation exercise. And so for each of these 9 freedoms that have been named, I want to invite you to speak out. First, what that thing is a freedom from, and then what it is a freedom for. I'm going to share those things through the microphone, so I'm going to repeat them all so that our friends on Zoom can hear us too. And friends on Zoom, I invite you to put things in the chat box as well. So one person, or maybe many people in one of our listening sessions, said they were here for freedom of thought, freedom from indoctrination, freedom for spiritual imagination and personal discernment. So as you, as a community, think about freedom of thought, how else would you name that as freedom from? Freedom from what? Oppression, indoctrination, dogma, regime, prejudice, shame, indoctrination again. Say it again. Ideology, restriction, authoritarianism, choice. Okay. So freedom from those things, freedom for what? What do we have when we have freedom of thought? Expression, exploration. Say it again. Creativity, better community, truth, peace, acceptance. What did I miss? Freedom to grow, joy, choice, agency. All right. So freedom from thought is freedom from the forced thinkings of other people, the forced beliefs that have been shared and passed down, and an invitation to explore our own beliefs. We honor that each mind is a holy site of revelation. We invite exploration. And let's be honest, real thinking takes work. Theologian Soren Kierkegaard offers this: people demand freedom of speech and thought as a compensation for the freedom of just thought that they seldom use. So it's not freedom to not think, but it's freedom with the responsibility to think deeply. The next one was freedom of expression. Freedom from censorship or shame. What else is it freedom from? Disrespect. All right. Hate, conformity, abuse, fear, categorization, judgment. Yeah. And freedom of expression is freedom for what? Beauty, art, acceptance, creativity, confidence, community, blowing off steam, individuality, euphoria. Yeah. Existence. Yes. Yes. Freedom of expression means that we make room for your full voice, even when your voice is saying something that someone else in the room isn't comfortable hearing. That includes hard conversations and unpopular truths. Noam Chomsky reminds us, if we don't believe in freedom of expression for people we despise, we don't believe in it at all. Ouch. So let's move on to freedom from creeds. What are we free from when we're free from creeds? Rigidity, dogma, what? Threat, exclusion, expectations, exploitation, stupidity, being crushed, damnation, ignorance, boxes. Yes. And when we're free from creeds, what are we free for?
Seeing the full picture.
Seeing a full picture, new perspective, imagination, self-expression, truth, exploration, ideas, expansion, critical thinking, choice, Community, yes. Yes. Creeds create uniformity. Covenants create connection. And this community thrives on the latter, which comes from a freedom from creeds. How about this one? Freedom of attendance. What are you free from when you're free of expected attendance? Guilt. Yes. Peer pressure. Anxiety. Performance. Getting up. What are you free for?
Just being you.
Just being you. Self-care. What about intentional presence and radical accessibility? You're not here because you have to be. You're here because you choose to be. And we hope to make that choice possible for as many people as we can. Freedom of organization. What are you free from? When you're anxiety, loneliness, hierarchy, isolation, bureaucracy, white male dominance, expectations. Say again. Deadness. Yeah. What are you free for? Democracy. Shared leadership. Flexibility. Cultivation. Inclusivity. Activism. Innovation. Joy. Love. Yes. Yes. Congregational polity means that the authority lives with us, that we decide how we want to be a congregation together, that we decide how we engage with people and the ways that we honor people in our engagement with them. All right, here's a distinctly UU phrase: freedom of the pulpit. Freedom from what? Restriction, control, domination, expectation, hierarchy, boredom. Yes. Censorship, manipulation, judgment, damnation, indoctrination. I have colleagues who won't stand up in a pulpit and say what they believe honestly needs to be said because a donor in the church has already threatened them to not give their money. What are you free for when there's freedom of the pulpit? Challenge, growth, new ideas, responsibility, saying the hard things, accomplishment. Say again. Living messages, entertainment. What'd you say, Holden? Say it again. Sharing knowledge. Thank you.
Accessibility.
Lay accessibility. Yes. Freedom to speak prophetic words, to be courageous, to tell the truth in ministry. Freedom of the pulpit means the speaker is empowered to speak from conscience, even when it's challenging, especially when it's challenging. And this must be held in tension with freedom of the pew. What does that mean? Freedom from what? When you think about freedom of the pew? Domination. I didn't hear. Religious tyranny. Rules. Yeah. It's the freedom to contribute. It's the freedom to ask questions, to push back. That you don't have to just accept something that somebody said because they said it from the pulpit. That doesn't make it true or fact or binding. How about the freedom to seek deeper meaning?
Yay.
Yay! What are you free from if you get to seek deeper meaning?
Different points of view.
There's ignorance, platitudes, banned books, stupidity. Being what? Being walled off, one-sidedness, proselytization. Somebody said something over here. A one-party state. Some would say a two-party state. But we're not going there today. So if you're free to seek deeper meaning, what are you free for? Exciting new ideas, open-mindedness, actualization, ascension, exhumation, integration, enlightenment, curiosity, a change of perspective, empathy. Yes. Education, direction. This is not a place of easy answers. This is a place of brave questions. And you're not required to arrive at a conclusion, but you're encouraged to keep digging, wondering, wrestling, continue on the journey. Nobody here is offering certainty, but we offer companionship on the journey. And the last one is freedom to choose community. What are you free from? Guilt. Inherited obligation. What did somebody say over here? Silos. Ooh. Conformity. Toxicity. Loneliness. What about performative presence?
What's that?
Where you're just expected to be a certain kind of person in a particular place, so you show up and be that person, do those things because it's what's expected of you. When you're free to choose your community, what are you free for? Finding your people.
Oh.
Self-acceptance, companionship. Finding your tribe of weirdos, experimentation, making a difference, support.
Increasing your levels of acceptance, celebrating diversity.
Yeah, widening your tolerance, increasing your levels of acceptance, and celebrating diversity. Making things happen. And here, particularly in a UU church, you are free for intentional, chosen, covenanted relationship. No one is forced to be here, and that's what makes it powerful. You choose this community, and this community chooses you back. We're not perfect, but we're present. We're not uniform. Sometimes we're united. And every time you show up, you help shape who we are. And so in our listening sessions and this conversation about who we hope to be in the world, those are 9 freedoms that you all have named. And I hope that our expanding on them here together has helped you to imagine the ways that you individually and we collectively might live into them. Margaret Atwood wrote in The Handmaid's Tale, the character Aunt Lydia says, there's more than one kind of freedom. Freedom to and freedom from. In the days of anarchy, it was freedom to. Now you are being given freedom from. Don't underrate it. That is to say that we have work to do with the freedom that we have. We have work to do to gain more freedoms for ourselves and for others. And then there's the huge work once we realize the freedoms that we're looking for, of how we share them with the world to make the world a better place. Nelson Mandela said, "For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others." May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. The interlude is Amazing Grace, an early American melody and an arrangement by Frank Milholland, performed by Colleen. And the freedom to remix hymns. Our closing words are by Kathy A. Huff. Our time in this place may have ended, but our connection to each other and this community remains. Together, may we walk the path of justice, speak words of love, live the selfless deed, trod gently upon the earth, and fill the world with compassion. Until we meet again, blessed be. Our final hymn is If Every Woman in the World. It's number 1026 in the Teal hymnal, which probably nobody has. And the words will be on the screen. You can stand or you can stay seated, either way. And after the hymn, we'll do our chalice extinguishing and unison sending words. Don't forget to stick around for Friendly Feast today. And Amelia, I'll invite you to come up at the end of the song and extinguish the chalice. As Amelia is coming forward to extinguish our chalice, just a reminder of friendly feast. We'll be setting up tables on this side of the sanctuary. If you are a strong, able-bodied human and want to help with that, they're back there. If you are a person who doesn't wish to help with that, you might consider moving this way and taking a walk down the hallway until we're ready to serve. And we now extinguish our personal and communal chalices and close with our unison sending words. Our service here is ending. Our service to the world begins anew. Go in peace.